slope is the amount a line goes up or down over time. We measure it by dividing the change in height by the change in distance. We can remember this as rise over run, or x divided by y. There's a house in my neighborhood with a weird gutter. So I decided I wanted to figure out what the slope of that gutter was. So here's a picture of the house. The first thing I need to do is figure out the length and the height of the drain pipe. The first thing I need to do is draw a line along the bottom and draw a line going up so I can measure what my x and y values are. My line going up is my y value, and my line going across the bottom is my x value. So I can write those out as y over x. The next thing I'm going to do is grab my ruler so I can see about how long those are. Because the drain pipe is going down as it goes from left to right, I know it's negative. So I can write my negative line right there. Now I line my ruler up and I can measure how far across my x value is. So I'm going to tally my units. And I end up with 14 units. So 14 goes on the bottom of my division problem. Now I'm going to take my ruler and turn it to see how many units I am going up and down. And it's only 1 unit. So I'm going to put a 1 on the top of my division problem. Now it's time to divide to figure out exactly what my slope is. I set up my long division problem as 1 divided by 14. I don't know my 14, so over on the side of my paper, I added them together. I find that 14 can go into 100 7 times. 14 times 7 is 98, so I do 100 minus 98. 100 minus 98 equals 2. Bring down the 0, and it's how many times can 14 go into 20? It can go in 1 time. 14 times 1 is 14. And 20 minus 14 is 6. Bring down the 0, and we have 60. How many times can 14 go into 60? 4 times. 14 times 4 is 56. I've gone far enough to satisfy my curiosity, so I'm rounding up to my slope equals negative 0.07.